Welcome to another maths class. My name is Manuela Ndiomu, and today we'll be looking at the topic Multiplication and Division of Directed Numbers Part 1 under the theme Basic Operations. But before we go into this topic, let's look at our lesson objectives for this class. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to carry out correct multiplication and division involving direct numbers. And you should be able to obtain the squares of numbers. Now, what are directed numbers? Directed numbers are simply positive and negative numbers. Now, the sign of a directed number lets us know which side of the number line it can be located on. Now, this is a typical example of a number line. Positive numbers are numbers that are larger than 0, and they are found on the right-hand side of 0. They are represented with or without the plus sign in front of them. Example, 35 is a positive number and plus 8 is a positive number. Negative numbers are numbers that are smaller than 0, and they are found on the left-hand side of 0. Now, we always represent the negative numbers with a minus sign. Examples, -2 and -53. Note that the number 0 is neither positive nor negative. When we multiply and divide directed numbers, it is important to note that two positive numbers always give us a positive number. That is, plus times plus will give us plus, and plus divided by plus will also give us plus. For example, 3 times 3 is 9, 12 times 12 is 144, 60 divided by 12 is 5, and 81 divided by 9 is 9. It is also important to note that two negative numbers always give us a positive number. That is, minus multiplied by minus is equal to plus, and minus divided by minus is equal to plus. Example, -3 multiplied by -5 will give us 15. -10 multiplied by -7 will give us 17. -20 divided by -2 will give us 10. And -100 divided by -4 will give us 25. Finally, the last guideline when multiplying and dividing directed numbers is that a negative number and a positive number gives us a negative number. That is, minus multiplied by plus is equal to minus, and plus multiplied by minus is equal to minus. Minus divided by plus is equal to minus, and plus divided by minus is equal to minus. Example, -6 multiplied by -8 is equal to -48. 9 multiplied by -2 is equal to -18. -40 divided by 5 is equal to -20. And 200 divided by -8 is equal to -25. Now, it is important to note that there are different ways we can write multiplication when it comes to directed numbers. It can be written as -8 multiplied by -5, or -8 multiplied by open bracket -5 close bracket, or open bracket -8 close bracket multiplied by -5, or open bracket -8 close bracket multiplied by open bracket -5 close bracket, or open bracket -8 close bracket, open bracket -5 close bracket. They are all the same and will give the same answer, which is 40. When it comes to division, it is mostly written as a fraction. Example, 50 divided by 5 will give us 5. -50 divided by -5 will also give us 5. -50 divided by 5 will give us -5. And 50 divided by -5 will give us -5. You can see that they are written in different ways, but the same answer. Now, let's solve an example. Carry out the calculation 4 multiplied by -3 minus open bracket -2 close bracket open bracket -6 close bracket divided by minus 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 6. Now step 1, we simplify our numerator. Our numerator is 4 multiplied by minus 3 minus open bracket minus 2 close bracket open bracket minus 6 close bracket. Here we apply the rule of BODMAS when simplifying the numerator. So we start with simplifying the brackets. Now minus 2 multiplied by minus 6 will give us plus 12. So we will have 4 multiplied by minus 3 minus plus 12. Solving through, we will get 4 multiplied by minus 3. Now note that minus times plus will give us minus, so we will have minus 12. Next, we multiply 4 and minus 3. 4 multiplied by minus 3 will give us minus 12. So we will have minus 12 minus 12. And finally, we subtract. Minus 12 minus 12 will give us minus 24. Step 2, we simplify the denominator. Our denominator is minus 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 6. Minus 2 multiplied by 4 will give us minus 8 multiplied by 6. Minus 8 multiplied by 6 will give us minus 48. And the final step, we simplify the fraction. So we take our numerator minus 24 over our denominator minus 48. Minus 24 divided by minus 48 will give us 1 over 2. Because the minus divided by minus will give us a positive number. Having looked at this example, let's move on to talk about squares. This is how we denote a square. So 4 squared is equal to 16. To explain further, a directed number that is positive, when it is multiplied by itself, it gives us a positive answer. Some examples are 4 squared, which is equal to 4 multiplied by 4, is 12. Or 7 squared, which is equal to 7 multiplied by 7, is 49. For a negative number, when multiplied by itself, it gives us a positive answer. Some examples, minus 8 squared is equal to minus 8 multiplied by minus 8, which is 64. Minus 5 squared, which is equal to minus 5 multiplied by minus 5, is 25. Remember from our guidelines that minus times minus is positive. In addition, a square that is always expressed as a product of prime factors that all have a power of 2 is known as a perfect square. For example, 81 is a perfect square, and this is because it can be expressed as 3 raised to the power 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power 2. 3 is a prime factor, and they both have the power of 2. Also, 16 is a perfect square, and it can be expressed as 2 raised to the power 2 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 2. 2 is also a prime factor, and they both have the power of 2. Now, the number 28 is not a perfect square, and this is because it cannot be written as a product of prime factors that all have the power of 2. The factors of 28 are 2 raised to the power 2 multiplied by 7. You can see that 7 does not have the power of 2. Now, let's take a look at an example. Determine if minus 162 is a square. And if it's not, then find the smallest number by which it must be multiplied so that the answer is a square. Step 1. We determine the direction of the number. If the number is positive, then the number can be a square. But if it is negative, then it is not a square, and it has to be multiplied by at least minus 1 to make it positive. Now, our number minus 162 is negative, so it is definitely not a square. So it must be multiplied by at least minus 1 to make it positive. This will give us minus 162 multiplied by minus 1, which gives us 162. Now that we made it positive, we move on to step 2. We express the number as a product of its prime factor. So we start with the smallest prime factor. And the smallest prime factor that can go into 162 is 2. So 2 into 162 will give us 81. Now 2 can't go into 81, so we move on to the next prime factor, and that's 3. 3 will go into 81 to give us 27. 3 can still go into 27 and give us 9. 3 can still go into 9 and give us 3. And 3 can still go into 3 to give us 1. Getting 1 means that we are done. So taking our prime factors, we express 162 to be equal to 2 multiplied by 3, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 3. Step 3, we group our prime factors in 2s and write them in index form. This will give us 162 is equal to 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2. Step 4, we evaluate the powers of the prime factors. Now remember that a perfect square is always expressed as a product of its prime factors and that they all have a power of 2. So if the power of the group prime factor is not equal to 2, then 162 is still not a square. Now let's take a look at the grouped prime factors of 162. We have 162 is equal to 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2. The power of the first number 2 is not equal to 2. Therefore, 162 is not a square. Step 5. We work out which prime factor must be multiplied so that all powers are equal to 2. Our grouped prime factors for 162 is 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2. From this, we see that we have to multiply our grouped prime factors by 2 so that all our powers are equal to 2. This will give us 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2, giving us 2 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2. If we solve this through, it will give us 324. To conclude, for minus 162 to be a square, it must be multiplied by minus 1 and then by 2. So, minus 1 multiplied by 2 will give us minus 2. And if we multiply minus 2 by minus 162, the answer is 324, which is a square. So, having done all those, we have come to the end of this class. But before we go, let's take a look at a quick summary of all that we have learned so far. We learned that direct numbers are positive and negative numbers. We also learned that when we multiply and divide directed numbers, the following can be seen. 2 positive numbers give us a positive number. 2 negative numbers give us a positive number. And a negative number and a positive number gives us a negative number. We also learned that a square is the answer gotten when any number is multiplied by itself, and that a square is always positive. And finally, we learned that a negative number cannot be a square because there is no number that you can multiply by itself to give a negative number. Now, let's take a look at some test questions. Question 1. Calculate, open bracket, minus 3, close bracket, open bracket 4, close bracket, open bracket minus 2, close bracket, open bracket 2, close bracket, minus, open bracket, minus 2, close bracket, open bracket minus 3, close bracket, all divided by, open bracket minus 1, close bracket, open bracket minus 2, close bracket, open bracket minus 3, close bracket. Option A, 8. Option B, minus 8. Option C, minus 7. Or option D, 7. Our answer is option C, minus 7. Question 2. Determine if 196 is a square. If it's not, then what is the smallest number by which it must be multiplied so that the answer is a square? Option A, minus 1. Option B, 2. Option C, minus 2. Or option D, none of the above. Our answer is option D, none of the above. I'm sure you've learned something new about directed numbers. Till we meet again in the next class. Bye-bye.